Hey everybody, Jacob here from the Formula Drift podcast. We have an awesome deal for you. So if you head over to shopfd.com and use coupon code podcast23, you're going to save 20% on any merch. So anything you can find on that website, use podcast23 at shopfd.com. Save yourself 20%. Hats, shirts, lanyards, whatever. Just use the code. Save yourself some money. So why not? You know, don't stop listening. Wait till the show's done. But then head over, shopfd.com. Use podcast 23. We'll see you guys out there. All right, what's going on, everybody? My name is Jacob Gettins. Welcome to the Outerzone, the official podcast of Formula Drift. And we have Mr. Mike Power on. How are you doing, buddy?
Woo! I'm doing good. It's good to see your face.
I know. It's good to see you again. It's been a little bit. I feel like this season's been weird where we had like a bunch of rounds kind of together and then it spread out a little bit more.
Yeah, once we get closer to the season, it starts to feel like not as hectic in between rounds. I mean, yeah. I always have stuff going on that will keep it hectic. But yeah, we do get a little bit spaced out here. So I start to miss my friends a little bit at the racetrack.
Yeah, it's weird the like family that you build there where you kind of like, you get there, you do a bit of a tour and like, I don't know, this is my routine where I'll go through and I'll try and like make sure to see all the key figures and then like go back to do whatever I'm supposed to actually be doing.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah. Do you do that with your neighbors? Like you'll like back in and like immediately go and look at the spots and be like, oh, cool, we got this guy and like, oh, it's a good weekend.
It's usually, it is kind of a little hectic getting into the spot. I always got to make sure that we're there early because the rig is so big that we have to make sure it's not a pain in the butt to get it parked.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is cool when we get set up, when we get our spot going. We usually have Ula next to us. And he's awesome.
It's based on ranking, isn't it?
Like, no, I think it's just based on, well, I know that there's, you have the high profile drivers, the guys that have been in it forever, the dudes who have big activations going on at their pits. They're kind of usually put together in, an alleyway that's going to get a lot of traffic. And then I think it just goes down to the size of your rig and what you need to be able to set up and how much space you need. So for the most part, we're just usually in a good spot that has the space for everything that we set up.
Yeah, you've got a decent size setup now.
Yeah, but it is cool, like we were saying, it is cool being able to, get your spot, get set up, and then check in with whoever's around you, say what's up, see how they're feeling about the weekend, anything going on.
Hopefully it's not a neighbor with a noisy generator.
One time, oh my goodness. Why am I drawing a blank on his name right now? The Aston Martin driver.
Oh, yeah.
Darren Kelly. Kelly. We had him next to us one time, and they do this awesome like warm-up routine with the car. I guess they get the engine warmed up, gearbox, and the differential, and that thing is so loud. That is the only noisy neighbor I've ever had, but the car's awesome, so it's okay. But yeah, when they were warming that thing up, I was like, man, it's shaking the inside of the trailer.
Well, because they'll go through and like run it through gears, and then they'll like grab the e-brake to like load the engine up, and you can hear it like kind of like, and then it almost sounds programmed. I heard them do it, I think, in Orlando, where like they'll run it through like RPMs, but like step it.
It's super weird because it doesn't really sound like the car. Like it caught me by surprise. Like the warm up sound, it didn't sound like how the car drives. But yeah, a lot of people do that in the pit, warming up the engine and their gearbox and stuff. We usually just do it in the burnout box.
That's fair. Because I mean, a lot of the times you're going to sit in line and, you can warm up as much as you need to there. And
yeah, not to mention some of the tracks we go to this year, it's super hot out. Like St. Louis. St. Louis is like, keep the car off.
Yeah. Yeah, you could easily overheat it just waiting in line for practice.
Oh yeah, we've done a burnout box like before practice, and the car is like overheating. I'm like, this is not good.
You're running a cool suit in yours, right?
Yeah, so I run a chill out system. It's been super awesome. I've had it since we first built the car and drove in 2020, and it just now last round started like showing its wear. But the thing's awesome. When it's nice out, when it's like in the 80s, I can get the suit down to like 45 degrees and it feels awesome. You don't got to fill it up or anything. You just top it off with the coolant and let it rip. It's like a refrigerator.
Yeah, those are by far the smelliest thing on grid because like they don't get washed as often as like even the race suits do.
It's funny you say that because I literally washed it at Seattle. I was like, all right, this thing's pretty bad. I'm going to wash it. I don't want to be the smelly race car driver for sure.
That's fair. I always love, like, you can tell the guys with the cool suits because they'll have the feeds coming out and it's always like out of the crotch zipper. Yeah. And then you'll have like the 2 dangling tubes.
So OMP is the best. And every year when I order my suit, they give you an option. They're like, do you have a cool suit, shirt that you wear? And they give you a pocket in the side of the suit that you just put the cable through the cord.
Oh, no danglies.
Super convenient. It dangles, but it just has a spot. I don't have to open my fly and like feed the water hose out there. So that's really smart. I mean, it makes sense though, but just like how many guys are going to be running cool suits? It depends on the series, obviously. You need them. I see people in the pit that don't have them when we're at the track on a hot day. And I'm like, how are you literally doing anything right now? Like St. Louis, seeing anyone that didn't have a cool suit in St. Louis, I'm like, what are you doing? How?
Yeah.
Literally. Like
you got the leaf blower through the window trying to cool themselves off.
Those work really good.
Yeah.
We used to have one, but it got stolen. I would use it last
year.
And last year was pretty crazy. Good. I'm glad it's on your list. But yeah, my buddy Andrew, who used to drive the truck, you just see him walking around the pits the whole time with the Milwaukee leaf blower in his hand. Just it usually gets my feet. Because my feet get super hot. But
there's you're right there. And then, you've got exhaust coming down. Oh, wait, no, hang on. 2Js here on the opposite side, at least.
Yeah, it still just gets hot.
It's just hot.
Super hot. Yeah. It's basically, I feel like Mike in a little easy bake oven.
It would be funny. That'd actually make a good video. Just like having a little tray of cookies down there or something, and just like
it could do it. It could totally do it. I know it for a fact. We could bake some cookies on the floor of the race car for sure.
There's a thing in snowmobiling. It's like a little can that you strap to an exhaust, and you can heat your meal in.
I've seen that. That is super cool.
We did it once at a drift day at like my old Thunderbird, and we just strapped it to the downpipe and like heated up a meal and like got off track and took it off. And there's like a little burrito in there. Yeah, works well.
We're talking about this. You guys see me at the next race, just zip tying hot dogs to my headers or something.
That's where you need that Oscar Mayer sponsorship or something.
Yeah, boosted.
Should make some calls.
Glizzy cooker.
Glizzy.
Sorry, I'm from New York.
Well, I want to know where that nickname. Like, where did Glizzy, the word Glizzy, come from?
Dude, literally, I woke up one day and it was just a thing. Back when I was living in New York, I'm pretty sure that's where it originated, or at least that's where it was pretty hyped up and used a lot. And I just woke up one day and people were saying it. Someone tried describing why that means anything related to a hot dog. I have no idea, but I've just lived with it. I don't know what to say. And it's a funny word.
It's a great word. It's a great word.
It's so good. So good.
It accurately somehow describes the product too, just like in the sound and feeling it makes when you're saying it.
Yeah. It also instantly makes anyone uncomfortable for eating a hot dog.
Yeah.
At least anyone around me. Like, oh, we got the glizzy? Okay. I see you.
No, it's such a solid word. It's like up there. It's up there with the M word, which I almost don't want to say because like people get immediately upset. Moist.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm not that. That one really doesn't
I feel like it
me.
falls into the same category of like a feeling that immediately comes with the word. You're like,
it has a vibe behind it.
Yeah.
And you're like, all right. Maybe
how has the transition from New Yorker to California in Californiate? Californian? I don't know what it is. Cali boy?
From East Coast to West. It's been all right. I wanted to change, and I love the East Coast. I love being from there. Being the first and only pro driver out of New York was super awesome for me. And, I'm looking at a newspaper article from when we made the jump into pro.
Oh, that's cool.
The East Coast, I feel like, will always be my home. It's just, I felt like I was in this continuous loop of not really being where I wanted to be. And I kind of wanted to start something new and build something for myself and go lay some roots. And California just has a really good industry out here for the ideas I have and, wanting to essentially start fresh somewhere. That was basically the main goal in coming out here and just see if I can build something for myself to do better on the things that I want out of, what I'm doing in this career. So it's been really nice. I have a cool little apartment in a nice place in SoCal, and it's really pretty. So that's definitely nice. And you don't got to deal with winter as much.
That's fair.
Yeah. So And the idea is, once the season's over, I would really love to be able to drive year round. So I'm going to try and figure that out for this off season. And, we have tracks available here and there's stuff always going on. So kind of excited for that.
Do you have the spare car down there too? Like you got that old S13?
So I don't have any C-Time car. And that has been a big issue for this year. I actually haven't had a C-Time car in a while. I had one in the beginning of 2020. I had one in the beginning of last year when I first moved into pro, because I knew that out of competition driving was going to be really important. But I crashed my car in Long Beach first round of last year, and I needed all the funds I could to fix the car so we could finish out the season. So I sold I had a Corvette at the time. I sold that, and we were also rebuilding my S13 to basically be a demo car or a secondary competition car. And we were actually pretty close to finishing it off, and I had to sell all the parts and everything. So definitely a bummer. I still have that car though. I still have that chassis. It was my first ever drift car, so I'm going to keep that forever regardless. Okay. But it would be really cool. I have plans for it to hopefully be a car again one day.
Just parted everything out that was on it.
Yeah. I literally every single part other than I think there's just a custom radiator attached to the chassis, and it's not even a rolling chassis. It's literally just a bare bones S13 chassis with a radiator in it,
which is still worth like $8,000-$9,000 now. Which is crazy.
So many people hit me up if I was selling it, because I took a picture of it and I was like, sad moment, because it was like build was no more, and everyone's like, "You're gonna sell it?" I think even Ryan Turk reached out to me about it. I was like, "You sell the thing?" No. It's like, I need to keep it. I was like, if this thing doesn't turn into a car one day, I'm literally gonna bolt it to a ceiling or like a wall in a shop once I get one.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, it would be pretty cool.
I'm excited for the day where that becomes a thing. Like, with like old F1 cars and Indy cars and stuff like that, where people bolt them to walls and shit. Yeah. Like, there's going to be a time where, like even a Vaughn Gittin Jr. is finally done. Like, in his apartment will be a Fox body bolted to the wall. Like, it's going to happen. It has to.
Yeah. No, I think the way that the sport is going, it's like we really are building some legends out here that people are just super like diehard for. And I think for sure we're going to see some old drifting chassis on ceilings and walls.
We even saw, I can't remember the guy's name that bought Turk's old car and then obviously ends up allowing like Dago Higa to use it. But like,
I believe his name's Colton.
Is it Colton?
Yeah, it's I can't remember. Yeah, Supreme. JDM Supreme.
JDM Supreme. I was like, I'm like, I don't know if it was like the Supreme, but I remember it being like
JDM Supreme. Colton, really nice guy. Awesome car collection.
But I was just going to say, like, that's somebody who's collecting, drifting artifacts, if you will. I mean, obviously it's back out running.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that to me was one of those first moments where I'm like, oh, like, people are going to buy these. Like these at one point in time, it'll be a thing to own a 2022 FD car, right?
Yeah. That'd be really cool. I mean, I just plan on owning all my own cars though.
Yeah.
I don't want to sell them. I just keep them. I just love my cars so much. I was even like in the beginning of this year, I was like, I would love to get into another car for next year just so I can keep my S15, like not like a tin can when I'm done with it. But that car's got some more years under its belt for sure.
That's the plan. Then just keep running that chassis.
Yeah. For right now, for the foreseeable future, we'll probably run that chassis. MA Motorsports built it so well. Like I told him, I was like, build me a car that we can crash. You saw the same thing with Chris Forsberg's chassis. Yeah. That they built together years ago. And that thing ran for so long. Obviously, you got to put in some work and they get beat up, but they're fixable.
They put in some crazy work, man. Like, now I didn't even put two and two together before you said that. Yeah. Like I've seen like Chris, what should have been written off, even you in Long Beach, like that car.
Yeah.
A lot of other builds would have been written off. That was a rough year for cars. You and Hurst both like demoed almost new builds.
First round. We brought it to a frame machine the day after the competition. And the guys were like, how are you standing right now? Yeah. They were like looking at the damage on the chassis. I was like, I'm really dizzy. I went to the hospital, but like, I'm okay. Like,
you were dinged up pretty good.
Yeah, I was super out of it. I was just like the next day I woke up and I like could barely walk because I was super dizzy. I don't know why, but they said I was all fine. They said my head's okay.
I think it was kind of like the whip around though, wasn't it? Because you hit and spun. Right?
Well, no, I spun beforehand and just backed it into the wall. So like perfectly back, and I hit hard enough. It completely took the wind out of me and like hurt my back. And I guess maybe from that was just too much. I don't know, but I was fine. Just took me a day.
I mean, I'm sure you're used to a couple of good bangs being a BMX boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you gotten back to ride at all now that you're, I mean, obviously like to get around, I'm sure, but.
I brought my bike with me. It's here in my garage, but I haven't put it together yet.
Really?
Because I will always love BMX. I think it's awesome. It taught me so much about like growing up and like fear and all this stuff that was like super, super big moments in my life growing up as a kid. And I love it so much to the fact where I don't want to ride it yet until like the season's over because I don't want to hurt myself because I'll just be enjoying it so much. I'm just a little bit worried because I have like a shoulder injury that I had like a few years back and I have to finish the season out.
I can see that. I've seen a couple of guys, like I know Hurst has been back to the park a little bit. I've seen a couple of guys like scooting around and like, okay, like I'm curious to see. I think it'd be really cool to get a bunch of the FD guys together to play a game of bike or something.
I was just going to say, I honestly want to verse Chelsea and Nof in a game of bike.
I would be curious. You spent a shitload of time at Woodward. I think you might be able to take him.
So I lived there when I was 15 for a year. They had like a school program. And that was my first experience in California. I lived in Tehachapi, California at Woodward West. And it was awesome. But yeah, I think it would just be really fun for some cool content. Just get a game of bike going. I can't keep up with Adam. He's too good on the bike still.
That's a little different though.
Yeah,
I mean, he's
still really good.
Yeah, I mean, he was a pretty heavily sponsored rider. I mean, he was little different. I mean, you obviously had some good backing. You know, shouts out Index Inc., but not nearly to that LZ level of riding.
Yeah, the furthest I got was like a little like homie hookup with S&M bikes, and I was like, oh, I made it. But
yeah,
I didn't.
Although I don't think Adam LZ was ever in BMX Plus magazine, so I think you've got him there.
How do you know this?
I know things. I was going to ask you what a bigger
literally. How
was.
Do you know that,
dude? You're like what? Just behind the centerfold in the Index, right?
Yeah.
It's on I can't remember what the name of the bike was. You're testing
so
something
cool.
out.
Yeah, hold on. It was I believe it was a DK. Maybe it was just these. They like Plus Size BMX came to camp and they're like, oh yeah, we're doing a shoot. And I was like, oh cool. I was like, I've never seen this before. This is cool. Like shooting for a magazine. And they're like, yeah, do you want to like do some tricks on this bike for us and just like get some photos taken? I was like, yeah, sure. What do you want me to do? And they're like, I don't know.
What's the worst that's going to happen,
do some
right?
cool stuff. I was like, I mean, I don't know if this bike will take it. So I'll do some normal stuff. Cause it was just like a complete bike for like I think it was like under $400 or something or $300.
Oh, okay. So basically a starter.
Yeah, it was like a starter BMX bike, and I did like I think it was like a 180 bar spin on it. Got the photo, and never thought anything of it after that. And then one day,
really,
friends from high school, because I was basically homeschooled living at camp, and my friends from high school reached out to me, and they were like, "Dude, you were literally in this BMX magazine that they just got at the school," and they sent me a picture of it, and I'm like the contents page, like the second page in the book, just a huge photo of me riding my bike on that bike. And I was like, no way, this is so sick. I was just so happily caught off guard by it.
I was trying to find the name.
Very cool experience.
I know I've got it pulled up somewhere. I mean, I was trying to remember what actual bike it was you were testing. Haro.
Oh, Haro. Okay.
There you go.
Yeah. That's why it didn't fall apart. It's a good bike.
No, it's crazy. There's such a crossover. I know I've talked about it so many times of like guys doing whatever, moto, skate, BMX. Like this seems to be, I'm not saying those sports aren't grown up, but it's like, this is what you do when you're maybe afraid of your body falling apart more.
Yeah.
Right?
And I feel like it's like community based too, is why you get so heavily involved, is because there's so many other people that are interested in the same thing. And you get to just join a community of cool people. That was BMX for me. And I really loved it. And it got to a point where I like kind of just like plateaued on, my skills and like pushing it because I was getting hurt. And I came home back to New York, and the community kind of like died off a little bit while I was gone. So it wasn't like as fun to go ride my bike anymore. So I kind of just started getting away from it. And then I hurt myself and I was off the bike for a couple months. And then I started getting into cars from my friend Connor.
Was it like the car meet thing, or was it like what? I guess like what sparked the car part of it? Because your dad was into racing too.
Yeah, so I was actually going to add that me and my family, we used to race go-karts when I was younger. We did like asphalt oval track go-karts, and it was super fun. We traveled for a little while doing it. My dad later on got into a super pro truck, and he had a modified for a little bit, and it was really cool. We were like a racing family for a little while. It just started getting to the point where like it was expensive, and like I kind of wanted to do other things, and I got into BMX, and I was super happy about that because when I was in go-karting, I felt like I was like scared of everything. And then BMX showed me like, okay, like you got hurt a couple times, you're fine. Don't be as scared about things. And then when I got back into the cars, I was just like, oh, like I don't have the same feeling that I used to when I was in go-karts. Like I feel aggressive, like I can push myself. But yeah, I ended up, back to your question, I was just hurt. My hand was completely broken. And my buddy Connor, I would just hang out with him every day. And he was really into Japanese cars, really loved Japan, and, just had all these really cool things to tell me about when it came to like Japanese cars. And once I started getting into that more and more, he's like, oh, let's go to car events. Like, and then we go to some local car meets. And then he brought me to my first drift event, which was at Club Loose in Englishtown. And I literally saw what Club Loose has, like at the track, like just an all out good time with drifting. And instantly that day, I was like, I'm buying a car and I'm building one to come do this. And I literally bought a car. I'm pretty sure like 2 weeks after that, I bought my first car.
I'd love to find out who you saw at that event. Like, based on the timeline, there would have been some OGs that may have been driving there. Like, that's where I'm like, yeah.
It was a big event too. It's Freedom Moves in 2014. So
shit. Okay.
Turk was probably there.
Yeah.
Forsberg was probably there. All the Bloodmaster guys, they're just all crazy. Just an all out party. And like, I'm not like a party guy, I never, even as a kid, I wasn't really like the big party guy, but it was like, I went there and I saw just all these just cool dudes, like talking about cars, drifting, having so much fun. Definitely some wild stuff went on that we don't have to talk about on this, but
delete all those notes.
Yeah. It's just, it was like that feeling when I got into BMX. It's like, look at how much fun these dudes are having. And just everyone's super cool with each other. Everyone's super nice. Like there's no bad blood going around. No one's fighting with each other. And then they're just going on track and having a complete ball. I was like, yep, building a car. I'm doing this right away.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It was so good.
It is a weird addiction. Like I've talked to so many people about the sport, and almost everybody I talk to who's into drifting can boil it down to like the moment. And they knew that moment. You're like, oh, this is it. This is the thing that I've been waiting for. This scratches every itch. Everything just fell into place the moment you see it. It
literally gave me everything. Like everything that my life is like built around right now, drifting gave that to me.
Yeah.
Like almost every lesson. I had a little bit of a feel for life and way that things went when I was like doing BMX and traveling and stuff, but it wasn't until drifting where I was like, oh, like this is real life now. Like I'm learning about real life.
Well, it teaches you perseverance and patience and problem solving, and in some regards, mostly in the negative, finance and business, like
literally everything.
Yeah.
It's unreal. I owe a lot of my life to drifting, for sure. 110%.
You also came up fairly quick. I mean, if you consider that 2014 was your introduction, and then,
and then I didn't start drifting until 2016.
Okay.
Took me like 2 years to build my car.
Yeah. But then like 2016 to now is, that's not a lot of time to go from day one to pro.
Yeah. Your boy was motivated.
Clearly. Do you still do like the whiteboard of motivation and put like, hey, this is the project, this is everything we're going to do? You know, like visual on that?
I am definitely a visual learner, and I'm a visual motivator as well, for sure. And I've done all of that before. It hasn't been as much lately. I did just get a huge glass blackboard installed in my apartment that I want to use because I know it helps me a lot. It's like seeing things, like you can tell me to do something and I'll mostly remember it. But if I get to see it, then I'm like, all right, cool. But I am like, that's funny that you say that, like the whiteboard of like motivation, like that's my dashboard in my car. Like I don't really have the whiteboard of motivation at my house because I'm constantly traveling. My car has little notes on it. I have like a little saying on the dashboard, and it says like, you want it more than them. And then Max, the grid worker at Hot Pit, he went out to me one time. I don't know if I was having a bad day or something. This was back in Prospect. I don't know if it was a bad day or he was just trying to hype me up. He just gave me this little like blue piece of tape that just said, let your heart sing on it. And he just slapped it on my dash. And I like, once I saw that, I just pressed it and I was like, that's not going anywhere. That's staying right there. And I have one of the most prized possessions taped to my dashboard, which is a little note from the sweetest little girl. Her name is London, and she's from St. Louis. And that it's getting to the point where I might have to take it off the dash soon because I don't want it to get ruined and I have to frame it. But it is just it was a really big moment for my drifting career. And it was just one of those things that every time I look back on it, it's really awesome. Yeah, she's a good luck charm, right? Yeah. So what was it? 2021. We were at St. Louis for Prospect, and we were just doing autographs at the pit. Like we had there was a few people lined up at the pit, and I was doing some autographs, and I met the sweetest little girl, and her name's London, and I gave her like one of my hero cards, and I signed it. I was like, here you go. And I think I gave her like a little t-shirt too. And then I like walked away, but then like 2 seconds later, she grabbed my attention. She's like, hey. I was like, oh, what's up? And she like hands me this little piece of paper. And she's says, I'm going to be a race car driver just like you one day. So this is my autograph. And it says London, and it's got a smiley face and a heart. And I was just like, that is so cool. I was like, that is exactly what you'll be if that's what you want to be. You'll be a race car driver. And I grabbed it and I showed it to Scott, my crew chief. And I was like, dude, so cool. And he's like, no, tape that to your car. He's like, that's a good luck charm if I've ever seen one. And sure enough, I taped it to my car, and then we won St. Louis in 2021. So it was super amazing. And I get to see her every year. And I'm pretty sure they're even coming to Utah. So I'm very excited. Really? Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah. It's really cool. Yeah. Oh, and they also like this like painting right here behind me. That's from her and her sister, Mackenzie. They make me stuff every year. Is that like a Pokemon card? No, the Pokemon is just mine. Like mine, but the painting behind it is just like a hand-painted Power Racing logo from them. They're the sweetest people ever. I love them. It's really neat, those interactions. Like I haven't had any to that level, but just even having those moments where you realize that like the whole thing is bigger than you. Where like, you know, what you're doing is it's easy to get lost in it really quick. Where you're just like, yeah, I'm here, I'm doing this, I've got to do this work. And then somebody, you know, takes 2 minutes just be like, hey, like this thing that is mundane and everyday for you or really frustrating or really difficult, like understand I'm on the other side of it. And this is what I take away from it. Yeah, it does really good at like checking you like in your place, like taking a second and being like, oh, well, it's like drifting is very self-centered at times, but it's like there's so many more people that are here for what you're doing, like that you don't even realize. Like I will check myself sometimes if it's like having a bad day. It's like this is still a job that people like will die over. You know, it's like, you know, I mean, I'm constantly killing myself to stay in it, but it's one of those things that I'm like, I'm grateful to be here. And like I'll hop in the car and be like, another day at work. Yeah, the best office you can get. You know. You look at the live stream and you realize that like almost everybody watching that just wishes they were one of those 36 people that were on the screen. Yep. It is insane. Sometimes it feels really good to think that, but it is, I'm one of those people. I'm just like really hard on myself for like what I do. I'm a perfectionist and I want to be the best at everything I can be. So it is tough at times when I'm not doing too well. Like this whole entire season has been really rough.
One of my favorite videos of you was like in car, you just losing your shit. Like the steering wheel comes off and you hold it for a second and you're like, do I want to destroy this thing? And then you're like, just like, I think you threw it on the floor and then just screamed. But it was like so primal and you're like, man, like, I can feel everything that went wrong in that one yell.
Yeah. I was just so like a little bit of a backstory on that. That was at Englishtown in 2021. Mm-hmm. And we went out there a few weeks beforehand and burnt off 40 tires. So I went there to test on that track. Basically, my mindset was I'm going to learn every single inch of this track and I'm not going to lose. So we burnt off 40 tires, spent all the money to spend basically 2 days there just practicing. And we got knocked out in top 32. I think top 32. And I was just livid with myself. But it's just, that's drifting sometimes. And it was just at that moment, it's like, when I get like that, it's like, all right, I'll allow this like short spurt of me being super angry so I can just level out. Because I'm not going to carry around this anger all day. Like, yes, there's a part of me that will be upset what we did and like basically just not getting what we wanted out of the weekend. But I'm not gonna be this super angry, hot-headed dude all day. Like that's not me. So blow up, get it out of your system, and then just go back to chill, figure out what went wrong, and just try to pick up where you left off at the next round.
Yeah, you're definitely one of the most even keel guys that I know. I mean, you and I have known each other for a while now, and like you're, the two main things are you're incredibly quiet and shy, which
sometimes.
Come on, dude. I mean, we've gone out to dinner with like groups of people, and you'll say like 8 words. Now, that being said, sometimes those groups of people are very loud, and I know if I'm there, I'm usually one of the louder ones, which doesn't help. But
it's like it's like a mix of both. Sometimes I'm super introverted. Like for the most part, I'm introverted. But if I'm around like the right people or like people that I like really love, or like I know that they get me, or we're just like close, I'm like there's like some light switch that goes off where I'm like this crazy extroverted person, and I'm like
you get wacky. You get wacky and like kooky and like want to do silly things.
Fun.
And,
it's fun. Yeah. Which is like sometimes I miss that a lot. Like all the fun stuff that I would do, or just acting like crazy. You know, sometimes it's just I take things so seriously that I'm just like,
it is time and place with it too, right? Like you definitely have to be serious in some occasions, and then if you're wacky all the time, no one takes you seriously.
Yeah, for sure. And I appreciate that there's people that I've been doing this with for a long time that like know that side of me. So like at least they got to experience it, or when they see it once in a while, me like goofing off or something like that, they're like, oh, there's Mike.
Yeah.
That's the Mike we all know, you know?
Yeah, it's tough too though, because like you're a young guy who's new to the industry, and like a lot of the times when we've seen each other has been like in business settings and things too. And it's like, that's tough. It's so hard to know how to play it and be cool without being, saying something stupid. Like it's this weird scenario.
Yeah. It is tough, like being in those scenarios, like being in like full work mode. Like I take it so serious, and I'm like, at the same time, you can't take it too serious and like scare people off when you're talking about business and stuff. Because what I've noticed is any business relationship I have with any company or any of my partners, like we have a real friendship. Like I can call pretty much anyone that I work with right now, and like we can just be on the phone and have a good conversation, like two friends. So it's like when I'm in business mode, it's like, yes, I take it very serious, but I'll like check myself and I'll be like, dude, like be chill, be yourself, because at the end of the day, you want to be really good friends with these people. That's what makes all these relationships I have so great.
Yeah, it has to be that balance of like friend and work stuff. I knew like when I did sales, that was the tactic that I was taught really early is like, hey, do some work stuff, and then if you feel it's starting to get heavy, you swap it to personal, and then you do that for a bit, and then swap back to work, and you just kind of flip back and forth, and then that conversation will carry much easier.
And it's like just trying to enjoy the journey together too, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of how's that journey been with Type S? Because like now they're on the door.
So this year we're shared title with Type S, so we're basically both the front runners on the program, and it has been nothing short of amazing. It's been so great. some of the coolest people I've met in the industry. Their products are so much fun to work with and they look awesome. And it's just really refreshing seeing a company that truly cares about the series. Like they're sponsoring FD along with myself. So it's like, not only do they care about the sport to want to sponsor FD, they care about the drivers too and want to like help me with my program and just create really cool content, create great products, and just be all around awesome. Like that's how I feel with them. They're one of the best relationships I have, and I'm just going to do everything I can to keep that going for as long as possible.
Yeah, I think what you've done with them and how that's developed is really interesting and kind of cool to watch too. And it's good. It's a good thing for somebody who's new to motorsport partnership, like of how that needs to develop. Like just coming into a company being like, I want you to pay a whole bunch of money to be my title. That's cool, but the chances of that happening are pretty slim. Pretty slim. But it's one of those, like, this has been in development for a couple of years. And then, last year was a bigger step. And then this year is a pretty massive step.
Yeah, this year is definitely the biggest. They're the largest supporter of my program. And like, obviously I'm super grateful for that. And even with that, we're still doing more together. Like right now we're working on, we have a product that we developed together, and they made it my signature product with them. And I'm so excited. And it's like it feels like a pivotal moment in, not just drifting in me, but like me running a business for myself, my program. I consider it a business and my name, and just trying to do everything I can to carry my name over the future. And Type S is, of course, the first people to do that with me with this product we have here.
Are you allowed to talk about the product? Like, I don't know what.
Yeah, I am actually allowed to talk about the product, because the cool thing is, I actually have it here in front of me.
Oh, sick.
The cool thing is, this is actually the day that our talk here is going to be live. These will be available to purchase.
Sick.
So I'm super excited.
I might bug you for one.
Oh yeah, hit me up. So what we have here, it is the Type S Auto Power Racing Jump Pack. So
the fact that your last name is Power too, like just
it's such a good last name for racing, and for this product, it just literally hit me right in the face. It's like, So when we were talking with them, we were like, Benson over at Type S is like, how do we use your last name for like product? And I was like, you guys have the jump starter. My last name is Power. If you want to go anywhere and have power with you, you get a jump starter.
Yeah.
So this is their latest and greatest jump starter that they did in my like signature with my Power Racing logo on there.
Sick.
It's a jump starter. It's got a built-in cable. It's either like USB-C or Lightning. And it's just this. I've had one of these even before we made this product, and it's a lifesaver. It's jumped my truck. Yeah. It's jumped my car multiple times, like those hot days in St. Louis when I'm killing my battery because I'm running my cool suit with the car off.
Yeah.
This thing has saved my butt multiple times. So it's just really awesome that, yes, I've made stuff in the past that has my name on it. Like I'm wearing a hat and a shirt that says my name on it. But to have a product that's being sold by another brand with my name is like, I feel a very pivotal moment in, where I'm at. And I'm super grateful for it. Super excited. Yeah.
And it shows too that like, and I know you do like other work, like some of the install video stuff. You're doing some on-screen stuff with them.
Yeah.
Like those are all the things that people don't realize when you're getting into these partnerships. They're like, it's not just someone cutting you a check. You throw a logo on the door. Like this is work. This is a job now. Chris Forsberg is a good example of that. It's not like Chris Forsberg just gets his check and a couple of cases of NOS and calls it a day.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
The dude's doing commercials and those crazy videos and stuff, which like, yeah, that sounds great. But that's like 3 to 4 days of shooting in some cases where you're, it's not all glory. Like you're doing work.
Yeah. And it's like I was literally filming the other day with them for some new dash cams that they have coming on the market. And we're just constantly filming and doing my like brand ambassadorship with them, constantly creating content. We have a bunch of stuff that they post on YouTube, and it's a lot of work. And this is all stuff that I do. So it's easier to sponsor me as a driver, for it to be worth it to sponsor my program. So it's a lot of
value.
work. It definitely is. Yes. And it adds value. I want both the program and myself to have value. So having your name on the car, I want that to mean something. I want you to be able to see return on that. That's what's really important to these companies, but also as myself, having me involved, I want to have my value and bring that to the table. So everyone's super happy at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's sick. I mean, it's such a cool thing to witness. And I always enjoy, coming from like the business and marketing side, like I like to look at those scenarios and be like, okay, cool. Like, seeing how the whole thing gets built and then seeing it develop and small partner, last year to then like, oh, cool. And then now the product, like it's really neat to watch. And I want it to be a lesson, I guess, for a lot of the young drivers right now, where it's like, it's not just a cold email and a check comes in the mail. Like
you have to build
a lot of work.
Yeah, you have to build. It's just like your car sitting in the garage. You can't just go buy a beat up 240 and it's a drift car. It's like you have to build it and make it what it needs to be to support you and the ideas that you have or the driving that you want to do. It's the same thing with any relationship that you have. Me and Type S and myself, we started out really small and we were building together and we've been super happy with it. So we want to take more steps and we're building together. That's what this product signifies, us building a bigger relationship with each other.
Yeah. And it's good to see. I mean, I know you've got a good relationship too with the guys over at Novia and everything you've done with them. Saw the wheels in your kitchen, doing live stream stuff. Like
Novia Fitment Industries. Yeah, I literally did just have all my wheels with some GT Radial tires strapped on them in my kitchen for a little content thing. Yeah, I actually have one of the Novia sitting right next to me too. Yeah, Fitment Industries and Novia Wheels, that's also another great relationship that I'm super excited about as well. It's just, I'm just really focused on making sure that any relationship I'm in will go the distance. I have longevity always in mind. So, and not to mention, like, I'm out here doing everything on my own. Like, I'm trying to keep this dream alive of me going to the racetrack. And these partners that I have are the people that get me to the track. Not to mention my team, but it's just like funding the program. It's like these people are very important to what I'm out here trying to do. And you have to appreciate that so much. And it gives you a really good feeling of people having your back and wanting to see you do good. So I just pay that forward to them and just, want to make some cool stuff happen. And I want to get good results. That's why I've been beating myself up all season. It's been a tough year, but everyone's still pretty happy with me. We're all super happy to be working together. And if we don't have a good day at the track, then all right, let's make some good content. Let's do some good on the Instagram,
Yeah, I'd be amiss without giving our boy Sam a shout out because I know he listens. And
100%. And today's Monday and it's his birthday. And I just
no, it's not really. I got
Sam's
to text
birthday.
him after this.
Yeah,
love that guy. Absolutely,
Dude, me too.
love that guy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I'm literally like best friends with these people that I work with on my program. So it's a really good feeling. It has that community feeling to it, which is really awesome.
So speaking of Instagram, I want to talk about your social media growth because you have followers and interaction rates that are like rival some of the biggest guys on grid.
Yeah.
And in a lot of cases, not that that's a competition. I'm sure you see it as a competition a little bit because like compete at everything, but how? Just how? Like that's all I can say.
So first of all, I really don't see it too much as a competition. It's basically I see what these other programs and other drivers are doing to be able to go do fun projects and support their racing season. So that was basically like my goal. It's like, all right, like let me just get good on Instagram so I have a little bit more to bring to the table when talking to partners. And I kind of just struck gold on some video ideas. They were really simple. I think the algorithm was a little bit better when I first got my start, but I just found this easy content to make and, some slow motion. For some reason, so many people love slow motion drifting videos.
Big fan.
And it was right after I won Irwindale in 2020 Pro Spec, my rookie year as a Pro Spec driver. It was after that, there was just this influx of likes and follows from FD, from their live stream. And I posted one video and it was just a slow motion drifting video with a good song and it just blew up and took off. And from there on, I just really focused on paying attention to trends and just like funny car videos and just trying to make good content. Cause I've done all this like on my own. Mm-hmm. Like, yes, I get the clips filmed. Nate over at Daily Driver Media, he's been a huge help. Yeah. He'll basically send me, a nice folder of a bunch of clips after the weekend's over. And then when I have time to myself, I sit down and I just find the clips I really like and I make some reels. And
the dude doesn't miss a shot either.
Oh, he kills it. And he's got some more help. He's got some more help at the track now too. So he's got even more angles and more like shooters. So it's been really good. The algorithm is kind of tricky nowadays. Not really. It seems like a lot of us aren't really getting the attention that we used to get. But sometimes I still got some heaters that are out there. So it's good. Just focus on growing.
You have a really good interaction rate too. Like the amount of people that will comment, and I know you're pretty back and forth a lot of the times too. Like I think that plays a huge role in keeping the fans as well.
I find it really important. Again, like we're talking about like fans, I find it really important that, so in the grand scheme of things, if I became this famous driver because of social media and everyone knows me from it, it's like, okay, it's like, yes, I did my work to get here, to get noticed by all these people, but these people and these numbers are the reason why I'll have more value. So these people are so valuable. And not to mention they are so cool. So every day I focus super heavily on, talking to fans, reacting to any content that I'm involved with. People DM me all the time, and I try my best to answer all of them.
It's a full-time job.
Any post of mine that gets reshared by someone else, I like it. I know for a fact if you go find a tag photo of me or someone else shared a video, I liked it. I know for a fact. And I think it's just really important because, yes, I'm the only one doing this. So that gives me the really good opportunity to stay in touch with all of these people that are enjoying what I'm putting out there. Yes, it'd be sick to have a manager that's running my social media all the time so we can just come out with some banger ideas and constantly have content coming out all the time. But at the same time, I get to interact with all these people all the time and a lot of people ask me for tips. I'll help them with car setup. I'll give them tips and tricks for their program. I have a lot of like up and coming drivers reaching out to me. And I just think it's really good to stay in touch because at the end of the day, it's like drifting should be fun and people will come to enjoy it. So be a good showman and make sure people enjoy. Too. Yeah. Make sure people enjoy talking to you.
Yeah. No, it's good. It's good. I think it's so important. You can't post and ghost. You can't just drop something and then leave and hope that it does well.
Yeah. Not to saying it hasn't happened before. Sometimes I'm super busy and just got to put something out there and then jump back into whatever I'm doing. But yeah, for the most part, I'm there. So it is really good. And like you said, it is very good for the ambassadorship and promoting companies and really putting emphasis on showing people why you believe in a brand or, why you're promoting something.
Yeah. No, it's good, man. It's good to see, I guess like how serious you've taken the opportunity. I know I'm not pointing fingers at anybody at FD. I think everybody there is taking it very seriously, but there are definitely people in other sports where they're given an opportunity or they receive financial backing and it just seems like they slough it off. I mean, I guess I could put it like Lance Stroll in Formula One is like somebody who comes to mind where like, he's still putting in the media time. He's still racing well, but like, I just feel like he just wants to be somewhere else. Yeah. Apparently playing tennis. But yeah.
I feel like drifting doesn't really offer that to people as much. Like
there's
drifting,
there's no free rides.
You have to be so dedicated to it.
Yeah.
Like that's my main thing that I tell anyone. Like that's the number one asked question I get is how I'm interested in being a professional drift car driver. How do I do it? And I literally tell them, make sure you love drifting to the point that where you hate it, you're still showing up because you will hate drifting way more than you will love it. If you want to take it professionally and do competitive stuff, if you just want to go do grassroots, you'll love drifting for the rest of your life. 110%. I could promise you that. But competitive drifting will make you do things that you do not like to do. And there's things you're going to hate. You just got to grind it out.
Right now, for the podcast listeners only, we're offering $5 off each ticket purchased on Formula Drift website by using FD Podcast when you check out. That is FD Podcast. I don't know if you need a capital, the FD, but try it either way. So head over to formuladrift.com, pick up the tickets, then enter code FD podcast, get $5 off all 8 events this year. So 20 a season. Head over. If you're going, save $5. Might as well. You parted out a car that was near completion just to finish a season. Like,
yeah, it's crazy. You have to do stuff that you wouldn't want to do, but every single struggle that you have to deal with because you're chasing this dream, once you get there, it's going to feel amazing. So that's like what I'm holding on to. I got 2 trophies from Prospect behind me, and when I look at them, I'm like, yep, that's when it paid off. Like, that's when every single thing that I ever had to do that I didn't like about drifting, like, it's 110% worth it just for this feeling.
Is that the motivation? I guess, like, I know we've alluded to, this season being a rough one, but like, are those the things that keep you going this season?
Yeah, 110%. I'm also just, drifting is essentially, without being like too deep, drifting is kind of the only thing that I have. I've worked so hard and so long to get where I am that, yes, I could maybe find something else to do tomorrow, but nothing has as much meaning as drifting does to me. I love it to the point where, like, even if I hated it for a whole year, I'd still be there, and through the struggle, yes, like, it makes me upset that this season hasn't been going well. I want to get really good results and do well. And it's been tough, but I still am going there, and I'm still believing in myself, and I know that I can do it. I'm just struggling right now because I'm grinding and I'm wearing all these hats. I run my whole program for myself. I have my crew, and they do an amazing job with the car, making sure the car's good to go. But everything else, like that's a hat that I have to wear for every little thing on this program. So there's a lot of stuff that I deal with that I think is playing a role, but it'll make it all worth it. I'm grinding. This is the year of, dragging myself through the mud just so I can be squeaky clean one day holding a trophy on top of the podium.
Yeah, and I think all of the greats, like, you hear about these rough seasons and crazy shit that happens that cause them to want to leave, but like, the difference is they didn't go anywhere. They just kept going, right?
Yeah, it's not going to be as important to you or as monumental when you win if you didn't struggle along the way. Like, if it was just given to you, like we were saying, like, you can be given, these opportunities, you're not really acting on it. It's like, if you're just given everything, like, you're not going to appreciate it. Like, if I like go out there and get a trophy or get on a podium with pro, like, before the season's over, you will see it on my face. I promise you. I'm a very emotional person, and I'm not scared of it at all. And you would see it real quick, the amount of stuff that I've had to go through this season if I'm holding a piece of carbon,
Yeah. Was it this? No, it was last season. We talked about the trailer. It was last season when you were moving, right? When the trailer got broken into?
Yeah. So
twice?
Yes. Twice in 2 days in a row. So last year, towards the end of the season, I brought the rig out early to California. Well, I had the rig brought out early so I could work on the car, get it ready for Urbandale. And I already knew that I wanted to move out here. So I basically was starting my slow approach to figuring out a game plan for out here. And I had the shop at one of my buddies, had the truck at my buddy's shop. And it was there for like a month almost, not a single issue. And it wasn't until like the week before FD, I get there and I see the lock on the trailer door was cut off. And I was like, oh no. Open up the trailer, everything's on the floor. Every single cabinet is pushed, like everything's pushed out of it. There's so much stuff moving. All my Milwaukee like stuff, all my tools, like my scooters. It was heartbreaking. But it's one of those things, man. And it's like, what are you gonna do? Be smarter next time. And I was like, all right, whatever. Like, this really sucks. And like, I'll make a police report and I'll go and I'll get a really heavy duty lock and I'll put it on the trailer because I'm stuck here. I don't have anywhere else to bring my rig. And it is so scary to drive that thing sometimes because it's so big. So I'm like, it's going to stay here. I'm going to lock it up really good and then we'll hope for the best. And yeah, the best did not happen. They broke into the RV the next night with the tools that they stole from my trailer.
Oh, so you know it's the same guys.
Yeah, definitely the same guys. So I was like looking around town. I was driving around and seeing if I could see anything on the street or if anyone was like trying to sell stuff on Marketplace. And yeah, it was just horrible. And still to this day, I'll go in my trailer looking for something and realize that it was one of the things that got stolen.
Oh.
So that's like just one of those things. That's just bad luck.
Just like, yeah, it's such a subtle reminder too that like, oh, I need this like one tool or something. And then you're like, oh, right.
Oh, it would be the simplest thing that they stole too. I'm just like, man, why? Why'd you steal that? Like, why'd you have to take my favorite little screwdriver that I used to take like the Zeus buttons off for my dashboard? Like, I'm like, God, you guys suck.
The custom tool or something, right? Like, you can't use that other than in this one scenario.
But they were like,
now you have it.
Yeah, they were like, obviously just wanted tools and stuff that they could sell. Because like I had turbos in there, wheels. I had a bunch of stuff. Yeah. Also, I don't think they were like super into maybe the drug variety. Maybe I think they were just some motivated thieves because like all my nitrous bottles were there. And like I'm just like, dude. I was like, all the things I thought they would steal, they didn't steal. It's just the stuff that I wanted the most to not be stolen got stolen.
Jesus.
Yeah, so it was definitely rough, but it was one of those things. It was, what am I going to do? Somebody sitting here and crying about it's not going to fix it. Just figure it out.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do at that point. Like you can file the police report and they're going to be like, yeah, okay, we'll look for it, but like they're not going to do anything.
No.
Like,
stuff's gone.
Not that they
it's
could.
Gone.
Like, what are you going to do? Like, look for a Milwaukee leaf blower. Like,
I was just hoping to see some dude on my scooter that he stole. That would have been the most obvious thing. Like, if there was anything that I would be able to tell that was mine, it was my all black scooter, and it had like the Power Racing stickers all over it. I was like, if I see that thing on the street, I'm running. I'm gonna tackle this fool.
You have to throw barbed wire on everything from now on. Just get like a stencil and spray barbed wire on all of your tools. Yeah,
that'd be pretty cool. Or like get an engraver and like engrave it. But I'm just not going to put myself in the situation where my stuff will get stolen. It was just an easy place for someone to break into my trailer. So not doing that anymore.
Yeah, that's rough.
It's not fun.
No. So, getting the honor of scrolling back through, Facebook accounts and stuff like that for you, I have noticed that you've gone through many distinct hairstyles. Is there, we've gone from like the emo cut to like the long flow to like the biker wave. Are you planning on changing up your look anytime soon?
I don't know. I'm just waiting for my glow up phase to come into effect. I think I'm going to get a gym membership in the off season.
Just get yoked and
I wouldn't say yoked. I just want to look fit,
You're gonna Forrest Wang this?
Like, you're a little chubby, dude. But no, I'll probably just get some more tattoos. My hair is like, it's never really a look that I'm going for, except for when I dyed my hair red before pro last year.
It looked good.
Like, it was cool. It was fun. Yeah. It was a topic. People would come get autographs and they're like, I like your hair. It's like the same thing as like people that like my tattoos. It's like, I'm interested in looking however I want to look and expressing myself the way that I want to express. And I think that plays a role in how things look. Like my car, my program, there's barbed wire on my knuckles. There's barbed wire on my car, Yeah. It's just being able to express yourself and stand out a little bit. It's not my intentions, I need to look different than everyone else. I don't want to look like a race car. I want it to look like just some stylish drift car. No, this is just what I like. And I love that people will see it and resonate with it and it let me know, like, you got one of the coolest cars in the field. I love your car. Like, that gets me so excited. I'm like, that just means that me and you like the same thing. We can be friends now.
Your pre-vetted friend right there.
Yes, literally. I like your car. All right, cool. I like you. We could be friends.
Yeah, we're now friends.
Yeah, I don't like your car. All right, cool. Go find someone else.
Yeah. Go get something that looks like a NASCAR because this isn't it. Yeah.
There's a fine line though, because obviously you need to have once we started getting into like this year was like the most proper program, like budget wise, partnership wise. So I want the logos to be very well, represented with the car. So we turned it down, like the noisy, like super crazy looks. And I was like, you know what? Less is more a little bit this season. Let's just find something that I really love, give some space for the sponsors. so they can stand out too. And I think we kind of nailed that right on the head. Ian over at Factory 83, he's been designing all my stuff ever since I started competing and drifting. And every year, I think he hates me just because I'm super picky. But then at the end of the year, we're just like so pumped on what we create. He's just amazing at what he does.
He does incredible work. Like,
oh yeah,
like some of my favorite liveries have come out of there. So
yeah, and he's such a cool dude.
I don't think I've ever chatted with him. Hopefully I've run into him at some point.
Funny story is we've been working with each other since 2018.
Yeah.
Seattle, most recent Seattle that we just were at was the first time I met him in person. I was like, no way, dude. Give him a big old hug. I was like, now you can put a face to the name when you want to like fight me over email,
Yeah.
Just because I'm being super annoying about design stuff.
I do like you and I had met via voice before we ever met in person.
Bro.
And then
I tell people about this all the time. I'm like, Jacob does not sound like how he looks. And like I was like, I talked to this dude for like a whole winter because you were helping me with some website stuff. And we were like on the phone. I would like call you like 2:00 in the morning sometimes. Yeah. Like it's super late. And I was like, I would just text you like, are you up? And you're like, yeah. And
still my computer.
Dude. Like you have like your own voice for sure. It's like super deep. And like, I don't even know the person I was picturing in my head, but it was not you. I literally, then we got like a video chat and I'm like, bro,
like,
who are you?
Yeah. You're like, hey, that's what you look like. And I'm like, yeah. Like, no, that's not, this is you. I'm like, yeah, man. And you're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Cause you said something and I was like, oh shit, it is him.
Yeah. It's weird. I know. It's a weird, nasally, gravelly, but then I have a baby face. So it's like, I know it doesn't match. It really
it's funny. It's funny.
Long live the baby face. I know we both have one. So
yeah, I have good complexion. At least the all my the will call girls like Rachel and oh my God, Cassidy.
Yeah.
They'll be like, oh, your skin's so nice. They're like all my best friends.
That's how you get in. Like, I forgot my hard card at home.
It's not even that. They're just so sweet. I love them. Everyone that works for FD is so cool, except for you. No, I'm just kidding.
No, thanks.
No, just everyone in FD is just, it's so cool that everyone's really awesome. And they all like work really well together. And it is like, even though I don't go to FD to go see people, I'm there to go racing. It's nice to be surrounded by people that care about drifting, care about Formula Drift, and they want to see you do good and they want to see you have a smile on your face. Like if I'm like upset about something, like Rachel and Cassidy from Will Call will literally know and they'll call it out. Like, are you okay? And I'll be like, yeah, I'm all right. I'm just dealing with some stuff. And they're like, well, let us know if you need anything. And I'm like, you guys are the best.
And then there's Andy Luck.
Andy Luck, one of my favorite people in the world. Andy Luck drives me insane sometimes for the best reasons because
he's so good.
I can tell that he just wants to give me a hard time because it's like you can tell he wants to give me a hard time because he likes me. But now that he's going to hear this, he's going to be like, I don't like you.
Listen, don't worry. He only listens up until the 1 hour mark, and we're like an hour and 2 minutes. So we're nice. Good. He like always tells me, he's like, 1 hour. You got to cut this at 1 hour. That's all I can take. And I'm like, dude.
I have a really funny story about Andy that I love so much. So Andy's favorite thing is just to tell me that I suck as a driver. And it's just, it's sometimes I'm like, you know what, Andy, one of these days, man. But I understand where it's coming from. You know, it's kind of just, it's a loving, kind of hatred thing. But so we're gearing up for Jersey in 21. And he's like, oh, like, we're like, where were we? We're in Orlando. He's like, oh, we're going to your home track next. Are you going to choke? And I was like, what? I was like, no, I'm going to win. He's like, no, you're not. You're not going to win. I was like, whatever, Andy. I was like, fine. I was like, whenever I'm on the podium, I'm going to be looking for you because I'm going to flip you the bird and tell you to go F yourself. And he's like, yep, sure. Sounds good. Can't wait. And Jersey, I totally choked. And I was like, damn it, Andy Luck got me. But St. Louis, basically right after that, was when I won. And I was super, super stoked. And I went up to one of the towers, one of the tower rooms. And I was like, where's Andy Luck? And I knock on the door and he's in there. This was after like trophy ceremony and stuff. And I like pop open the door. I was like, Andy. And he's like, what? And he's like not looking at me. I was like, go F yourself. And he's like, what? He's like, what did I do? I was like, it's not about what you did. It's about what I did. And he turns around and I'm holding the trophy, flipping him the bird. And he's like, like just super happy. And like, just, you could really tell like what all of his jokes and all of his, give me a hard time, what it really means. And those are the type of relationships that I really enjoy. So Andy Luck, if you made it this far in the video, just know I appreciate you. And I cannot wait to flip you off again, holding another trophy.
That is solid. Yeah, I don't know. He tells me he only listens up until the first hour. So we're 5 minutes after. So this might, I don't know. We'll see.
I might be,
we'll know about Utah.
Maybe I'm special enough. We'll see.
No, he's been good. I mean, the whole FD staff has been good. I'm particularly nosy, and I ask a lot of very intrusive questions all the time. And no one's really gotten upset with me. Sean Adriano had to talk to me once because I was like asking questions during like a stressful situation. He's like, not now. And I'm like, yep, okay, cool. I get the hint. But yeah. I mean, if that's the worst I've gotten, I think that's about it.
It's just everyone takes it seriously, so there's sometimes these serious moments. That's all there is. 100%. But at the end of the day, like you can go say what's up to anybody, and they be like, "Hey, how are you?"
Yeah,
super nice. Yeah,
it's a really cool staff. It's a really great group of people to hang out with, and everyone has such big personalities too. Mm-hmm. Like going all the way from an Andy Luck and a Kevin Wells, who are like like these kind of grumpy guys, but they're not really. Like, once you start chatting with them, they're the opposite, right? They just, you perceive them as grumpy because their job is to enforce rules. So,
and it's stressful.
Have to be for their role. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's a stressful job that both of them have. So I totally understand. Like, I look grumpy when I don't do good in the race car. So it's like, I understand. I get it. I'm a very understanding person. Sometimes too much, but it's okay.
Other than... Utah crashing through your sponsor sign. Are you excited for Utah?
Yes. Utah is my favorite track of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's something, cool. There's something about road courses, and I know the reasons why we go to ovals and why we do, like the speedways is because, it's really awesome for the fans. The driving's super sick. I totally get it. But I love driving road courses like Atlanta, and St. Louis is even really fun too. Mm-hmm. Utah's just got some different in it. There's some in the air there. It's beautiful.
the lack of oxygen.
The lack of oxygen. I can't breathe. I love this place. It's got one of those layouts where I can drive the way I like to drive. 100 mile an hour entry. You can be a little extra on the angle on the entry and just be stylish and fun and really aggressive. And that's just the track that I really loved it. And also last year, that track is the reason why I became Rookie of the Year. Because that was my best result of pro, my rookie year in pro, and we got top 8. And that is the points that we gained. They carried us all the way through Irwindale, and then we got Rookie of the Year.
Damn.
Yeah.
I did not realize that.
It is a special place for me. I really like it. And I just love the driving. It's so beautiful there. The track's great, like I was saying, and the driving, like, all in all, that my car loves that track. It's like, yep. It's like, this is what we were built for.
Do you have to throw anything extra in nitrous-wise or boost-wise with the elevation?
Yeah, last year we had to throw nitrous on the top end. So we usually use nitrous just to spool the turbo. But last year, the turbo wasn't making enough. We were overspinning it. It was out of its efficiency range, and we just needed more power. And I was just... we just put some more nitrous in it, and it did pretty good. Was still definitely a little bit out of the efficiency range for the turbo, but it's it worked out. It was good. My car's fast. It's on rails. But now we have a slightly bigger turbo for this year, and it's been proven to be very nasty considering we haven't even turned it up all the way yet. So I'm actually really excited for Utah.
Yeah, hopefully, you're not going to run out of steam at that point.
Yeah, I don't think we will because we still have the nitrous. We have a bigger turbo. Yeah, and the car was driving fine. We just wanted a little bit more. We're like, if we're going to keep up with these big boys, like we're going to need a little bit more horsepower. And then I get stacked next to Frederick Osbo, and his car almost does like a wheelie out of the start chicane, and he leaves like a drag car. Yeah, and I'm like, how am I catching this dude? How I got up to him. We entered pretty much together, but he got to enter so much faster than me. And like I lost front grip. And then I was chasing him down through the smoke, transitioned for the second turn, and literally didn't realize until the smoke is gone that I'm like, oh, I'm off the track right now. And then like the car just spins around and I just take my hands off the steering wheel. I like close my eyes because it's like I've done this before in the beginning of the season in Long Beach and I don't know what's behind me. But luckily it was pretty soft and it was kind of funny that I hit the Type S sign because they're like, did you mean to do that? I'm like, yeah, guys, I meant to go off the track and hit your sign.
I don't know if you heard me, but I was standing at that corner and I screamed at you, sir, you can't park there. I'm not sure if you heard it, but I felt like I had to.
I feel like if I heard that, I would start running at you, fist clenched.
Probably.
I'd be like, you know what? That's the greatest meme joke ever, but I'm so not having it right now.
Not now.
That was like Kevin. Kevin was like next to my car. He's like, are you okay? I was like, is my car okay? He's like, it looks banged up. I was like, can we fix it with duct tape? And he's like, I don't know. He's like, you're going to need to call 5 minutes. I was like, get me out of here so I can like drive it back. I like drove it like kind of off the track because I didn't want to dirty up the whole track. And like,
good call.
Even though like, yeah, that's just trying to make sure the track's not super dirty.
Yeah.
Just shut down the car. And then we went and like called her 5 minutes times out. And like the boys just zip ties and duct tape everywhere. And then we went out and did our lead in front of Frederick. And it was a burner for sure. I drive with a little better when I'm angry.
I wonder what that is. Do you think it's like a lack of thinking?
I think it's just...
I was going to say, they talk about like the flow state or getting in the zone where like you just drive. Is like anger that same kind of theory?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of both. Like the flow state for me is like if I break out a top 13 and top 32. If I break out top 32, that flow state starts coming where I'm like, all right, cool, I'm ready to go. And like what top 16, top 8, like that's at least how I felt when I was doing that more often in pro spec. But the anger for me is just kind of throwing complete caution to the wind and just being very aggressive at all of the inputs. So it's like I'm doing everything the same, but I'm taking them up a notch, basically turning it to 11, And sometimes Scott, who's my crew chief and my spotter, will be like, I want you to do that in practice. Like, I want you to do that the first lap of the day. And I'm like, it's not something that you can just pull out. At least it hasn't been yet for me. I mean, based off of how the season's been going, I feel a little more angry and angrier every time I drive just because I'm just starting to get frustrated here. But it just caution to the wind and your inputs are just a little bit heavier and you just get a little bit wilder and, it kind of feels like I'm driving with my heart. And that's kind of when I put on a show.
Yeah, there's several drivers. The one that always comes to mind for me is Alec Robbins. When that dude drives angry, it's scary how good he gets.
Yeah.
And he's such a polite and quiet guy.
Yeah.
Like
sweetheart.
He's such a sweetheart. I've said to his wife so many times, I'm like, can you just like threaten to divorce him or something at the line? Like, can you please just get him so pissed off?
Horrible.
Like, is that too far? But I've seen how he's driven.
Yeah.
Like enraged, pissed off. And it's so good. And I'm like, just do that all the time and you're fine.
That's hysterical. I would say as far as like drivers who drive really good when they're angry that I notice the most is Odie.
Oh,
when Odie is driving pissed off, I'm like, bruh, I can hear it. Because it's just like, that car could go to limiter if he wants it to anytime he drives it, but he keeps it like tamed. He's in the proper RPM. When he's angry, it's just
his like
the whole track.
His delayed one more time with Chris Forsberg was like that. When you like heard him at the line, you're like, oh, okay. Like, here we go.
Also, the meme from that is the greatest thing. They like had me laughing so bad.
Man.
Did you see? He's like, all right, F it. I'll do it again.
I'll do it again. Yeah.
I'll do it again.
And he did. You did do it again.
Yeah. Crazy times.
Same thing. Super, super polite and quiet guy. Like just very relaxed, very calm. He's got his glasses on, playing with his daughters.
Chill. Really awesome
playing
guy.
with his kids, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what it is. There's a few guys. I don't know if I've ever seen Osbo like really pissed. When he gets in the zone and like you'll see like those photos or those videos of him and it's just the eyes and like you can tell. Like you just know in that photo. There could be no other context other than just his eyes. And you're like, holy shit, this guy is just about to like wreck someone's day.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think he's angry. He gets this weird hyper focus.
Yeah. I'm trying to learn how to do that.
Do you do anything like ritual wise? Like, I feel like I ask every driver now, but like, do you do anything before you get in the car? Music?
No, I just kind of focus on my breathing and I just think about what I need to do. I just do everything I can to just try and stay calm until it's time for me to like battle. Because ever since they're like, you drive a little bit better when you're angry, I'll try and hype myself up a little bit before like we go into a battle. But for the most part, I just try to stay super chill. And that's about it. But like when I'm about to go into a battle, like I just make my belts super tight and I just like, I take my fist and I hit the sides of my steering wheel a few times and like crack my knuckles and stuff, or just like say some bad words and say that I'm about to just do some crazy things.
Say some bad words.
Oh,
no.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
I try to keep it PG here.
Yeah, it's fair. It's fair. There's no rating on this, so you're good
nice.
to go.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. Do you do any like eating wise? Do you change anything? Try not to eat? Try to eat?
I usually try to eat. I usually try to eat some carbs. You know, some extended energy that could be burnt off. You know, I really try to focus on good sleep. I try not to load up on caffeine the night before, so I can get some good sleep. If there's any chance I can sleep in, I'm taking that always because I love sleep. I've had sleep issues like pretty much all my life. So that's something that is pretty hard. It's, I like have all these ideas of things that I want to implement into my life and like the professional side of things that I'm like really excited to eventually be able to do it. I just feel like I've been doing so much that I'm just stressed out by everything. That I've like some things are getting pushed off until I feel like pretty chill and I'm ready to like implement some new ideas for myself. Because there's obviously something I'm obviously not doing something great right now because of how I'm performing. So constantly all year I'm thinking about what can I be doing, and obviously the main thing I should be doing is driving a car when I'm not at FD. The seat time is the most important thing ever, but I'm in this position where I can't do it. I can't afford it right now. You know, that's the toughest part. You know, going basically paycheck to paycheck as like race to race, you know, just trying to figure out how am I making it to the next round. So it's one of those things I'm just hoping that it gets better. I have my ideas of what I can do to get better as a driver, and I'm going to do it because I'm going to be winning races one day. I know it for a fact. I have full confidence in myself.
You were out, was it I can't remember if it was BMWs or Porsches you were running not that long ago.
It was a BMW before the season started. My buddy Matt Misko, he runs the BMW Performance School over at Thermal in California, and he asked me if I wanted to come drive a M4 GT4 race car, and I was like, "Of course I do. That would be excellent." Did that, and it was super fun, and that kind of got me fired up towards getting into some different disciplines of racing. Because essentially, where I stand right now is I just want to be a race car driver for as long as possible and drive anything I can. So just want to get more experience doing anything else.
That's interesting. Yeah, it'd be cool to see you in grip racing.
Yeah, considering like that's a little like I did wheel-to-wheel racing as a kid in go-karts. It's something that I've always been interested in. And the one other discipline of racing that gets me super excited is short course off-road racing. Is something that I really want to get into. And that looks like so much fun. Or rallycross, you know, like Nitro Rally, like they're bumping, and that's something that I would love to get into as well. But right now, I want to focus on drifting. I mean, drifting will always be my thing. I'm not trying to get out of drifting. I'm not trying to get in other forms of racing to just go like do that and leave drifting behind. It's like drifting will always be my main priority. It's just I want to be a well-versed race car driver because I think if I know how to drive like anything, it will help me be a better driver. So it's just their experience I want to have, and it's experience I want for myself to be really good at driving.
Well, I mean, there's nothing saying you can't do both. I mean, Turk's, off to Australia soon to do, I think it's Global Time Attack. Yeah. Forsberg's been doing it. I mean, Robert Thornton came the opposite way. Lots and lots of different ways that you could go about that.
Yeah. It's super possible, and that's one of the best things about FD is like that. Yes, we have our schedule in it, but it's not super hectic. It's not too insane. Sometimes it gets like there's like races that are like back to back, almost like basically 2 weeks spread, where that's a little bit tight. But yeah, you can schedule anything pretty much in between. That's why so many drivers are out doing other things as well. I just want to get into that spot eventually. But
without giving away the dates, the schedule for next year looks pretty good. So I think there's some times.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. Usually I just assume we're going to be kind of close to what we've been doing every year. So that's what I just hope for. But yeah, FD's been really awesome at making sure that we know our schedule before our season's even over.
You get the loop too. Like you're not jumping around. You kind of get that circle, starting west to east, but then up and then around. So
yeah. I do wish we didn't start in Long Beach though, because that track is intimidating and I almost totaled my car that one time. But it's such a good show and I understand it. Yeah. It's just, this track is so not forgiving sometimes.
Yeah. Hey, I know you're super rusty and shit and your car is like just been put back together.
Yeah.
But I'm going to need you to have, run this track with all walls, zero runoff, still some decent speed. Oh, and it's a parking lot with road, so there's like 4 different surfaces. So good luck.
Not to mention the first turn, you're entering the first turn and you don't know where you're going until you initiate. So you're flooring it down the straightaway to initiate, and you don't know where the turn is until the car's
staring at a wall. Yeah. You're literally staring at a wall the whole time.
Okay. Oh, all right, now I see it.
Yeah. And then with 8-9 laps of practice, we're going to expect you to touch your rear bumper on 1, 2, 3, 4 different, maybe 5 different surfaces.
That's where drifting has gone. There's been so many, like I've seen so many years where it's like, oh, you're in the pocket. You're cool. There's like a couple inches between the bumper and the wall. You're doing good. It's like now, nope. We want you skimming the wall. Anytime there's a wall on the track, we want your bumper on it. Just don't put it too on it. And then we think you're using the wall to help you get around the turn.
Yeah, there's like a 3-inch variance that you can get away with, and it depends on the car too and the build. Like
it does.
I feel like some guys really can get some and really we're talking about like maybe 3 extra inches or something that somebody can get out of the back of the car.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing because sometimes the being as close as you can to the wall is the right line because the track is supporting that driving. Like Irwindale. It's easier to drive the Irwindale bank when you're all the way up there.
Yeah.
So much better. If you're like a little bit lower, so much harder.
Coming out and then trying to do that kind of touch and go is way more difficult if you come out of that shot.
Yeah, not to mention grip levels. Because you can be a couple inches like this way or this way, and the grip level in the car is completely different.
Yeah. And running it shallower, you get into the marbles more. Like you need to keep a decent amount of angle on that wall.
Yeah.
Especially later in the day when there's more marbles up at the top.
Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah. It's a lot of variables.
So where do you fall into the tire debate right now about sizing and grip levels? Like, are you happy with the sizing and horsepower that we're at? Or do you think we're at a precipice, like it's gotten too far and we need to come back a little bit?
I don't think we're too far. I think we're kind of at like the pinnacle of like FD cars. I think they're insane, awesome, but it's you can tell that it's pretty crazy. We're basically driving drag cars sideways because of the amount of grip that we have to throw at these things. Not to mention the amount of grip that like I have to throw at my car to be able to keep up with a 315 tire. Like 295 versus 315. It's like the cars aren't that much different to have this much difference in tire. At least I feel. But being able to keep up with them feels awesome. Or being like just as fast as the guys on bigger tires, like that makes me feel really good for us and the team. Cause like we're like Scott's just being like meticulous and putting in the proper setups in the car and the boys are going along with him. And we have a car that's a rocket ship. Like we're in Seattle and I was like, dude, this thing is so fast. Like so fast. But I don't know. I think if we went down in tire size, I wouldn't be against it because it's not just I'm dealing with it. Everyone's dealing with it. Yeah. It might be a nice equalizer, It'd be fun to keep everybody on their toes. And maybe the tires are, helping these results. Maybe if we were all, on an equal tire or, had equal setups, maybe we'd start seeing some crazy stuff in the series, I can't really I can imagine it's possible, but who's to say until we do it or if we do it.
Can you can you explain for like the tech nerds like myself, what you might be doing to the car to dial in grip? Like, I feel like that's something we talk about a lot where people say, oh, I got to dial in more grip. But like, I don't know if you want to talk about the extremes. I remember seeing like Rome's setup one year going like, how do you even drive this at all?
Yeah, there's some things that like obviously I probably won't like touch on just because there's a lot of time and effort that, you know, like Scott and his experience that he's gained this knowledge, and, you know, obviously I pay for it by having him work with us. So it's there's some knowledge that shouldn't be for free, but most of the time it's just tire pressure. Most of the time it's tire pressure for grip. We can do a little bit of suspension adjustments, some alignment adjustments. You know, there's stuff like, there's a lot of stuff that you can do for it. But mainly, I just don't really, like, I just say what the car is doing or what I feel like it could be doing. And Scott and the boys will handle the car. And then I go back out there and I'm like, yep, that's it. Like, they're not telling me what they're doing. I'm just telling them like, hey, like, I think we can have more grip, or we can have more power, or there's too much grip. I need a little bit more side bite. And then they'll make changes on the car. So I feel like people think I'm screwing with them when they ask me like setup questions, and I literally tell them I don't know. They're like, oh, what'd you do to make it run good? Like, that lap was killer. Like, what'd you guys change on the car? Because before that, I saw that you were struggling. And I'm like, I don't know. I just told them that. I just told them, like, this is what I was feeling in the car. And they made some changes. I went out there.
You're providing the problem. They're providing the solution. You're not going to them, hey, take half a degree of caster or something.
I'm not making the decisions to what to do to the car. That is my crew chief. And it's the best way, because I'm just trying to focus on driving. And the best thing is just like, if I say it feels like this, he'll tell the boys, and then, you know, we have a change, and I'll go out there and I'll give it a try. And I'm like, all right, cool. Now the car does what I want it to do.
How do you like being spotted? Like, what kind of communication do you like? Are you like, do you need praise? Do you like being shit on? What, like, how? Everyone's a little different, right?
I don't really like being praised if it's not realistic. Are you familiar with Rich Whiteman?
Yeah, of course.
He was Pro Spec driver. He's not there this year, but he spotted for me in 2020. And it was amazing because we're really good friends, and he would kind of hype me up. So it's not like praising me, but hyping me up is really cool. And the feeling I get with Scott is Scott knows what it takes to win. That man has won many FD events. He has championships under his belt. And I literally was just, whatever you want to tell me is what you can tell me. Like, I'm learning here. And I even told him, like, when we started driving together, I said, make that car however you want it. However you seem fit, make that how you want to make it. Like, because you know what a winning car should be driving like, and I will learn how to drive it. Like, if we set the car up always to just how I like it to feel, it might not be fast enough. It might be too loose, or it might just be too easy to drive. Like, make the car the winning setup so I can learn how to drive it.
That's interesting. That's like a kind of a humble response to where you go into it knowing, like, I don't know as much as you do. I brought you on because of your knowledge. So I need you to tell me what this should feel like, and I will tell you if that's what I'm feeling.
So that's our relationship. Is he's a book of knowledge. He knows what he's doing, and he's also a really awesome guy. So he just tells me what I need to know, and it's just, hey, you missed here or you missed there. You got to get in the zone. How's the car feeling? All right, and then we just have these conversations, and I think sometimes he can tell that I'm like kind of hoping for like a little bit more like of like a hyping me up situation. And he does that once in a while when I need it. Like, there's been times where practice hasn't been that good, and qualifying, he's just like, hey, you have to go out there and you have to do 110% right now. Like, go out there, you know what you need to do. Go do it. And I'm like, well, hell yeah. Like, this, I'm going to break this gas pedal. That's what I'm about to do. And sure enough, it's happened like multiple times. Like, he's just tells me like, go out there and literally put on a burner, like, just go wild. And we've had it happen. And, you know, I listen really well, or at least I feel like I listen pretty well to all of his input.
He might tell you a different story, but
well, yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where it's just like, if I don't get the result that you want and you're telling me this information, and if I don't do it, does that seem like I didn't listen to you? Or does it just seem like I had a hard time doing it? So it's one of those things. But all in all, he's a great spotter. He's an amazing crew chief. He's been an ultimate gift to my program. And anytime I do bad in FD or have like a rough weekend, it's never the car. That's what I tell everyone. I was like, this car is always perfect. My boys kill it. We got Marco, Brandon, truck driver Matt, and we just put our heads together, and the car is always good to go.
That's good.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's a great feeling.
Yeah, you just got to figure it out. That's it. That's all you got to do.
Literally, just have to figure it out. The only thing that's separating me from a championship driver is experience.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's it. I have the team. We have the infrastructure. We have the car. It can do what it needs to do to win.
Yeah.
If you threw like James Dean in my car, I'm sure he would be like, yeah, no, this thing's a weapon. Like, we know that it's a good car. It's literally just me. It's up to me at this point. And like, that's obviously tough. I'm just dealing with the struggles of running a program. So like I was saying before, I wear so many hats that it's like, there's a lot of things that go into this and making it to every FD round. And it's like, how do you shut off all that thinking and all that stuff going on to just drive? And like, for the most part, I do it. It's just been not great results so far.
Yeah. We've seen drivers, it seems to be that headspace is what it really keeps coming back to. I mean, the two shining examples are Chelsea and Simon, two guys that went from struggling with their own programs in one regard or another to having a seat and just focusing on driving. And I think the results on both those guys speak for themselves, right? Like,
I wish.
I'm not saying that like Simon and Chelsea don't have other shit on the go.
No,
they obviously do.
Of course.
But when they get to that track, they're not worrying about how many tires did we order? How much fuel do I have? Did I order more axles? Fuck, I forgot to get a hotel room for this guy. Like, you know, like all those little things that take your mind away from just driving.
Yeah. So that's what I've been noticing this year, like the teams aspect of like Odie's team and his program having Ben and Simon, like, and not to mention RTR and like what Adam's done with them too. But it's like looking at these teams, it made me really want to like drive with someone. So having like a teammate. So it's like Ben and Simon, yes, they're great drivers, excellent drivers without any help. Like they are where they are because of what they did to get there. But now that they're with Odie, it's like you have this person that not only knows how to set up these cars to how they need to be driven, he can tell you how to drive it and give you all this input. And you guys as drivers can build off each other. And I'm just like, man, I was like, I need like a driving coach, or I need like an ex-FD driver to come like maybe hang out and do some stuff like that, or get with a team. But for the most part, it doesn't really look super likely.
You never know.
Yeah, I never know. I don't, any conversation that needs to happen, I'm all down to listen to anything. But it's, I like running my own program. It's just, it's hard. It's not easy.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I feel like with any of those situations, they're all conversations that feel maybe like non-threatening or like non-business. You know, you could be having some drinks, eating some shrimp cocktail, and next thing you know, everything's changed. So that was a deep cut.
That was a deep cut.
There's about 8 people understand that joke.
Oh my God.
But yeah, like all of these conversations come from something like that. And the next thing you know, you're like, oh, I guess we're doing business together.
Yeah, it really is one of those things. And there's got to be a relationship before there's got to be some form of a friendship or a very healthy relationship before business becomes a factor.
Yeah. Yeah. And lots of shrimp cocktail.
Dude, I missed that cocktail sauce. So
good. My face almost caught on fire. I was so shocked.
What's the name of that restaurant for anyone that's listening right now? Was it St. Elmo's or was it like...
There's 2 of them like next to each other that like they share the same kitchen. It's like the same menu or something.
Yeah.
PRI though.
Yeah, if you ever go to St. Elmo's in Indianapolis, get the shrimp cocktail and it is life life-changing. So
don't just get it. Eat an entire one to yourself. Possibly two to yourself.
You have to. We had literally 20 of them at the table.
It was
because like we all had our own bowl, and then we were like, we need it again. It hurts. That cocktail sauce will hurt you. It will make you upset. We definitely walked away with it. Yeah, it tastes so good.
Yeah, we walked away different people after that evening.
Experienced.
Sick. Well, dude, I'm glad we finally got to do this.
Me too.
I'm really excited to, at some point in time, interview you podium-wise. Yes. Big winner.
It will happen.
It will happen. It will happen. You can flip me off then too, just like Andy Luck, whatever you want to do. I won't judge you. For everybody listening at home, make sure to check out all Mike Power stuff. I say Mike Powers more often than I say Mike Power.
I will fight you.
So I know it's a pet peeve, and I have to like consciously think about it.
We should have started out this podcast like that.
I was going to call you Mike Powers.
Don't you ever put an S on my last name.
Oh my God. Make sure to check out Mike Power. Go check out the new power bank as well. The Type S power bank.
Yeah, I'm super pumped for that. TypeSauto.com. If you're getting one of these power racing jump starters, just know you're getting an amazing product, and also you're helping me support my dreams as a pro driver, and I'll love you forever. So super excited.
Works as a phone bank. Will boost cars. Yeah. No,
jump started my truck.
Flashlight. Yeah.
Jump
started your whole truck. That little guy.
Yeah. SOS lights on it too. Yeah. It's a powerhouse. We put my name on it, dude. I trust it. It's good.
Okay. Fair. Sick. Well, I'll. It sounds like they're getting dropped the same day as this. That's awesome.
Yeah, they're available.
Yeah, and I will see you in a couple weeks.
Yeah,
so
you will.
Be good. I'm looking forward to it. You're almost always one of my stops, like coming by. Like when I do my little trip on the scooter, I'm going to do one of these. I'm like, there's Mike. Yeah, pull in.
I spot you from a mile away with your green hat.
I know. I think there's an order of them coming to Utah too. I just got an email from Neff, so.
Oh, nice.
Hopefully. Yeah, they've been sending me some. So if you guys do see me in Utah, I know I have at least 10 hats reserved already. So I try to give out like 10, 15 hats.
You have like little clones running around, or you're just going to trip people up because they're all going to think it's you.
That's it. I want, honestly, my goal for like Irwindale is to get like 100 of them and hand them out to people randomly, even if they have no idea what it's for, just to put them on. And then that way, when it goes to the live stream, you look at like the crowd and there's just these dads.
You're a pain in the ass.
I know, right? I want to be like Where's Waldo, but that page of Where's Waldo where they all look like Waldo.
Yeah.
That's my goal. In like 5 years, I want half the FT fan base to be wearing a teal hat.
That's so
Gotta have goals, man. Gotta have goals.
Gosh.
Sick. Well, this is awesome. I'm glad we finally got to do it.
I'm pumped.
Always feels like we're hanging out anyways. So
literally.
Cool. Anything else? Are you all good?
No, I mean, I'm chilling. I just want to say I appreciate being on the podcast, and for everyone working for FD, they're definitely really special to me, and I love how much they care about the sport and growing it constantly. And any of my fans listening to this, I just appreciate all you guys so much. Just constantly keeping me going, because I know that you guys love what I do, and it's just, I'm super grateful for having the support team that I do when it comes to my fans and my team. I know we've had a rough season. They just, I just appreciate them sticking by my side regardless, no matter what, making sure that we always have a car that's ready to go and keep me competitive. And, I want to kick some ass for them this year, and we got 2 more rounds to do that. So that's what I plan on doing. And my family at home, my family's always been super important to me. They're the reason why I'm here today doing what I love to do. And, I want to make them proud. So I'm going to keep my nose to the grindstone here and keep working hard and get some results for them. So I could send them some cool pictures of me holding a trophy or bring it home for Thanksgiving.
Bring it home. There you go. Yeah. Nothing's better than, pouring gravy out of an FD cup.
That is disgusting.
That's where you draw the line. Okay, cool. All right, man. Thanks. And we'll catch everybody soon.
Oh, no! Whoa! Whoa! Fuego! Oh, no!